Hello, I'm going to show you a maintenance system that's designed to do planned maintenance on equipment, resources, assets, and also breakdown recording and breakdown maintenance for the same things actually. First of all, I'm going to log on to my system and go into there, and the opening screen's actually got a messaging system, so I can, the next person that comes along can see the message. So if I thought I had a problem with it, I could leave a message for him there. And just looking across at the database, there's a parts database there, and you can see I've got some parts in there, parts that you might require while you're in the system. There's a maintenance request book. That's ideal. Well, that's actually used for breakdowns from anybody on the shop floor, out in the field, on a tablet or on a phone. They can go into here and request a breakdown. It comes straight to the main system. We've actually got a work to list, so when we do the plant maintenance, it's going to be in weekly chunks. So this week we're going to have a list of things to look at that have got to be done, and some of them might be all done every week, some might be monthly, annually, something like that. And that's the work to list. And if I go down and look at so we've got an engineers database. Clearly, if engineers are going to work on this, we need to know some engineers. Mine are called A, B, C, and D. So I want to keep open there. And then I'll come across here to, there's the engineers. Equipment zones, so the equipment are all in zones or areas. We won't need to look at that for the demo, but we'll look at the schedule. See, it opens up the schedule, and I'll open that up there. There's a full schedule that's actually been generated earlier, and if you look at the key down the left here, you'll see that the top ones are all green, and that's a weekly schedule. So that lawn mower needs work looking at it every week. The orange one is monthly, so the tractor needs to be looked at monthly. The mower one is 3 monthly. So you can see this week you've got all these resources or assets or equipment to look at this week. So we've got them in order. We've generated a schedule. We just need to know how to do that now. Well, if you look down here, I've got a couple that I haven't actually put a schedule in. So if I click on that button there, it's going to turn around and say, well, okay, what do you want to do? I'll say, well, I'll have a fortnightly one, and I'll start on the 6th, put insert, and bang, there you go. There's a blue fortnightly schedule gone in. It hasn't got any tasks, so all of a sudden we've got a schedule, but we don't know what to do with it. If I click on the button again, and then add a new template for this product, I want to go fortnightly, so I could turn around and say, well, just check the condition of it. It's going to take 3 hours or something like that. Insert this, and now I'm generating a task that the engineer's got to follow at that point in time. So we could turn around and say, well, first of all, check running order. That's a good task to do. I'm going to just do 2 actually, very quick. But you can actually put lots in here. Text box. I'm going to say record any issues. Insert the task. So this particular excavator has got 2 things to be checked. In a factory you might have a dozen of these actually, going through checking the electrics, the oil, the hydraulics, all these sorts of things. I'll update that template and go back quick. I'm going to try and do it fairly quickly. You can see it's all green now, so that one's in. Now that must have generated a schedule, blue one for this week now, so let's have a look at that and say we go to the maintenance work to list. So this week, right, there's our excavator section there, but because we just added it in, we haven't added a worker to do that work. And this is the screen, just the parts of the screen. It's what you'd see on a tablet or on a phone if you're out in the field. And but what I'm going to do is open this one up and say, well, the schedule engineer to do this should be D, and I'll save that and refresh and go back. And now we can see worker D is going to do this particular work. So this is for this week actually. So if I select that now and say he's out on the field, and he's looking at this, and he's going to turn around and say, well, okay, I've got to check the running order, that looks good, so I'll tick that box. Any running issues? Well, none here, no issues there, that's done. So now I'll say it took me to I'll say 100 minutes. The job's complete. Completed date was today. I work at D, so I recorded it. I'll save that now. Now that blue job is complete, so I'll go back very quickly, and you can see it's disappeared from today. This for this week. I could show all, and this is one that's actually complete. It's got history and it's done, but we're only looking at the incomplete ones at this point in time. Now that's planned maintenance that's actually put in, but let's have a look at a reactive maintenance. So if I go to the maintenance request book now, which is tackling it from a different angle, there's some that's actually been completed there. I'll do a new request, and so this is out on the field again, or somewhere where there's a problem, and I'm going to pick on, well, I'll pick on highways for instance, and I'll say, yeah, I'm on roadworks, I'm waiting for an engineer, and what's the problem here? It's an internal job number, I'll say it's 8, it could be any number, and I'll say, well, the tractor, oops, won't start. So I'll raise that request. That's right, the way enter high, raise that request. It's gone in down the bottom right. Okay, so the request has come through in roadworks, and it's saying, well, the equipment in that area are these things here. Well, it's a suction excavator actually, so I'm going to load that one up. So I can now see I've got a request that's gone out, so I'll update request and go back. You can see it's waiting an engineer. So if I go back to my my actual work to list, I should see a requirement. So we've got the work to be done this week, but now we've got a reactive one that's got to be done immediately. It's a high priority. So the engineer would pick this up and say, blimey, we better get this thing started. And oh yeah, so I'm doing it by worker E, and I've maintenance start. Yeah, I started today. Whatever day that was. Oops. Wherever I got at maybe 10 o'clock, and I've finished it today at maybe 12 o'clock, whatever reason. And I've finished that now. Downtime in hours, maybe I'll put 2 hours, keep it the same, doesn't matter. And I'll give it a push start to get the thing going, and it's all working okay. So I could just turn around and say, I'll update. I don't have to do that update right now, but I'm going to turn around and say, yeah, I've checked everything. Have all the guys been, yeah, all safely done. I'm not waiting for an engineer. This particular job is closed now. I update the request. I'm back where we are. Go to the, come over there, maintenance work to list. Go to the maintenance work to list on the tab, and it's gone. So we're back on our planned maintenance schedule. Now it could have been that we had a problem with the, I'll do another request, we had a problem somewhere else, and I'll select the, I'll say it's, maybe it's, let's pick something out here, garden, I'll say it's garden. Basically it's just examples where you could put anything in here. Request from, I'll say it's from Stan, internal job number, okay, 9. I'll say it's flooding in park, something like that, in the nursery. Right, I'll raise a request for it. It's come out through. Oh yeah, so what's going on then? Well, the plant pots have disappeared for some reason. Doesn't matter what it is, we're just making it up for here. And I'm going to put a request for that. But so that's gone back there. I'll go back to, come out of this, we'll show you how we are. I'll go back into the maintenance work to list. There's the demand across the top. Nursery plant pots go in there, but that's just to argue that the plant pots have disappeared. We've got to get some more. So I'm going to get some more. I'm going to say I'm awaiting plants now. So I'll leave that as waiting for an engineer, and I'll turn around and say order new pots, something like that. Yeah, downtime. I won't put that in yet. I'll do a request, go back to the maintenance thing, come back in to the maintenance work to list, and that's going to now change to reactive waiting engineer, and it's waiting, flooding in the park. It's waiting for, oops, let's go in here, waiting engineer, and now once that's actually been done, I can turn around and say, well, I'm not waiting parts anymore. I've completed the actual checks. I'm engineer C. I'm updating the request, and I'm not waiting for an engineer. I'm now closing this request, updating, go back, come out of the schedule. Oh, you can see it was gone anyway. On to maintenance work to list, and there's no reactive maintenance there. So what you've seen me do is look at planned maintenance, set that up with a task, and reactive maintenance or breakdown, set it up. That's all come back to the master system, and it's been sent out to the field where the people are. And that's about a 10-minute video, and I think that's all I want to show you for now. Thank you.